The world around us is full of challengers. To exist in nature is to always face a new adversary, a new competitor. And to live is to continuously prove oneself against the odds and against one's peers. Usually, these are contests of strength, of perseverance, of old-fashioned grit. But sometimes, a contestant weasels through, not by the merit of their strength, but through cunning and intelligence. And in the swamps of the old world dwells just such a miscreant, defined by its clever tricks. In the natural world, balance reigns supreme. While catastrophes and crises occur regularly, nature is generally quite good at keeping the balance of things. The ebb and flow of life goes on, and humanity is a part of it. Namely, the Hunters Guild's explicit mission statement is to maintain harmony between the civilized and the natural world. In most cases, this means protecting everyday citizens from the dangers of the frontier, the wild lands that cover the known world. But the Guild also conducts behavioral research, tracks monster populations, protects fossil sites, and harshly prosecutes poaching, protecting the natural world in the process. In times of disaster and death, the Guild is humanity's main defense against creatures most foul, a mantle that monster hunters carry with pride. All in all, it is a harmonious, effective arrangement. But then there are creatures that strain that arrangement, not by overwhelming the Guild's strength, but by exhausting its patience. This is generally the case with highly intelligent monsters, and one such problem species ironically lives in the marshlands near Dundorma, one of the Guild's command centers. Here, in the humid swamps, waltzes a creature renowned not for its destructive power, but its sheer, uncontrollable obnoxiousness. This is the Gypceros, a large bird wyvern that generally inhabits wet habitats such as swamps and jungles. It is easily identifiable by its large beak with protruding teeth, its cone-shaped head crest, its grey body, and its elastic pink tail. It is, at first glance, somewhat unimpressive. So how come a creature so inconspicuous is considered a nightmare for the Guild? To understand that, one must observe the Gypceros' life and behavior. Like most bird wyvern, Gypceros are generally timid but curious, willing to investigate oddities, and equally ready to flee if those oddities turn out to be dangerous. What sets the Gypceros apart are two key behaviors. For one, Gypceros are highly attracted to shiny objects, as they are crucial to selecting sexual partners. It is believed that Gypceros select a mate based on the shiniest display. This, combined with the beast's extremely dexterous beak, leads to the Gypceros often descending upon wanderers and trading caravans to steal any and everything that glitters. This has led to numerous trade routes becoming nearly unusable due to the risk of encountering an incensed Gypceros. The second behavior that makes the Gypceros such a thorn in the Guild's eye is its main defense mechanism. As they aren't very physically imposing, Gypceros defend themselves using a poison sac, which produces a venomous substance that can be mixed into the wyvern's saliva and spat at opponents as mucus. Now, Gypceros venom is quite weak, causing only mild discomfort in humans at low levels of exposure. To compensate for that, the Gypceros poison sac produces absurd amounts of this venom, allowing the wyvern to spew out such large quantities of it that even its mild effects are multiplied into genuinely threatening levels. What's arguably more problematic is that because it produces so much venom, the Gypceros uses it extremely liberally, spitting out a few globules of it whenever it feels even slightly agitated. This can, for example, lead to Gypceros poisoning entire fields and farmlands by accident after getting spooked by some small critters. While Gypceros venom is weak against humans, it absolutely devastates any flora it comes into contact with, so a Gypceros appearing near any agricultural sites is considered disastrous. For these reasons, Gypceros sightings generally result in hunting quests being issued by the guild. But despite being a bird wyvern, a Gypceros is no easy prey, not even for experienced monster hunters. Unlike most wyvern, the Gypceros is not covered in scales, but rather a unique skin called rubbery hide, defined by its eponymous rubber-like qualities. This hide is assumed to have originally developed as a mechanism to resist electric shocks, as one of the Gypceros' main ecological rivals is the Kezu, a cave-dwelling wyvern that uses thunder attacks to paralyze prey. But beyond merely repelling electricity, this rubbery hide is also quite resistant to slashing and piercing attacks, giving the Gypceros ample defense. It is also water resistant, ensuring that the Gypceros can live in these humid areas without having to worry about moisture-related diseases and discomforts. Additionally, being rubbery, this hide is quite elastic, which empowers the Gypceros' most bizarre weapon. Specialized muscles and rows of rubber skin around the tail allow the wyvern to extend the tail like a rubbery whip, lashing opponents with it before retracting again. These adaptations alone would make the Gypceros somewhat difficult to best. But what elevates all of its strengths is the creature's most surprising attribute: its speed and stamina. Despite its size and shape, the Gypceros can unleash random bursts of speed that catch most opponents off guard. Moreover, it is capable of maintaining this speed for quite some time. Gypceros take an extremely long time to exhaust, and in a battle of attrition, Gypceros will almost always win. For a long time, this odd ability was considered quite mysterious, and its mechanisms were only discovered after intensive analysis of the Gypceros' physiology. Various glands within the wyvern's body, particularly in its abdomen, produce and circulate a fluid called dash extract. This is a type of natural performance enhancer. When mixed into the cardiovascular system, this extract improves all physical abilities, most notably movement speed and stamina. Gypceros strategically activate their dash glands to empower themselves, thus becoming as fast and durable as they are known to be. While this ability makes the Gypceros extremely difficult to deal with, the discovery of dash extract was a massive breakthrough for the Hunters Guild. Soon after, more and more monsters were discovered to produce this natural steroid, and before long, it was being actively harvested by hunters. Guild alchemists quickly realized that by diluting and processing it, they could make dash extract safe for human consumption. This new elixir, called dash juice, now allows humans, mostly monster hunters, to enjoy the benefits of improved stamina and physical endurance for a limited time. Thus, while the Gypceros' quick movements are quite annoying to engage with, it ultimately gave humanity another tool in their endeavor to stand their ground against monsters. A Gypceros is an enduring, resilient creature, but even it will eventually reach its limits. They are, after all, still bird wyvern, and lack the brute force and brutality of most true wyvern. But even when cornered, the Gypceros still has a few tricks up its sleeve. Its distinctive head crest is no mere decoration. Over the wyvern's life, minerals and ores that it regularly swallows as part of its diet make their way up into that crest, mixing into it as small rocky fragments. Most crucial are the light stones, rare gems that Gypceros seek out specifically. This crest is thus transformed into the Gypceros' secret weapon. It is attached to a specialized muscle that can wiggle the entire crest slightly forward, enough to make it collide with the upper end of the wyvern's large beak. When the Gypceros hits its crest like that, it acts much like a flint, creating sparks as the minerals in the crest are hit and shatter. This produces a powerful, blinding flash of light, burning the retinas of any creature looking at the Gypceros, and allowing the wyvern to either escape or attack the dazed opponent. Being so used to having a photonic eruption occur right above its head, the Gypceros' eyes have naturally adapted to be unaffected by light flashes. But what truly makes the Gypceros so troublesome is its considerable intelligence. Despite its awkward appearance and somewhat silly demeanor, the Gypceros is a cunning and calculating creature that will use any advantage it can grasp. One frightful example is that it can lunge at human enemies and steal their belongings, strategically prioritizing valuables and consumables. This can be highly problematic if, for example, the Gypceros robs a hunter of their elixirs. The photonic eruption is also a weapon the wyvern uses cunningly, flashing enemies at just the right time to create an opening. As it fights, the Gypceros makes sure to douse the entire area in as much venom as possible, hoping to slowly envenomate its opponent. Even if it deems the situation hopeless, the Gypceros has a way out. These wyvern are known to play dead when a fight doesn't go their way, hoping to catch their assailant off guard. Should anything approach a pretending Gypceros, it will bide its time before using its crest to blind the target. Gypceros are known to be exceptionally patient during this maneuver, sometimes even allowing hunters to begin carving materials from its body before lifting the curtain. Some Gypceros, however, never reveal themselves and simply continue to play dead until the threat has left. This has led to a small logistical nightmare for the guild. On more than one occasion, hunters have returned from seemingly successful Gypceros quests, only to be told that the individual they thought they had slayed had actually just fooled them, and that they needed to be hunted properly this time. The subsequent paperwork and complaints are remembered painfully to this day. All things considered, the Gypceros is an oddly powerful creature. Despite being a chunky, unusual-looking bird wyvern, it has developed numerous unique and elaborate defense mechanisms that combine into a true force to be reckoned with. This seems to have been the result of extreme evolutionary pressures that affected the Gypceros lineage. Fossil analysis has described an extremely short-lived cousin ancestor species of the Gypceros, the Gypceros. It likely resembled the Gypceros, but was covered in hard scales instead of a rubbery hide. Its crest also likely could not flash, and no evidence of any poison organs has ever been found. In short, the Gypceros lacked all of the adaptations that make the Gypceros so successful today. Its only unique feature was a clubbed tail that may have been fairly flexible. It is therefore not very surprising that the Gypceros seems to have gone extinct rather quickly, while a related branch remained and eventually became the modern Gypceros. Considering that the Gypceros was outcompeted by other bird wyvern, it is likely that this genus was exposed to extremely competitive environments, thus driving the Gypceros' unique and inventive defense mechanisms. Today, Gypceros are nearly uncontested in their marshy habitats. While they still have to fear true wyverns such as the Wraths, their numerous abilities allow them to stand their ground and walk the swamps confidently. They do have some dedicated predators, but all in all, the Gypceros' life is a success story. As far as diversity goes, there are two described extant species of Gypceros. The grey Gypceros is the more common one and considered the archetype of the genus. Meanwhile, the purple Gypceros is quite rare, only being sighted once every few years. It is easily distinguishable by its purple hide, adorned with green markings. This discoloration is believed to be a side effect of the purple Gypceros' main difference from its grey cousin, its enlarged poison sac. Purple Gypceros produce both more and stronger venom, able to flood the area around them in potent toxins that work much faster than the diluted mixture of the grey species. This allows it to be even more dangerous, and it likely would pose a serious problem for the guild if purple Gypceros weren't so rare. Many of us fall prey to thinking of nature too rigidly. What is and isn't powerful is often decided in the mind purely based on looks and impressions. It is a view that often underestimates creatures such as the Gypceros. Success and strength can come from any number of sources, and it is unwise to disrespect the never-ending ingenuity of those that walk the natural world. Next time on Monster Hunter Ecology. It leaves little trace. A singed branch, a tingle in the air, a tuft of fur. To lay eyes upon it is a once-in-a-lifetime honor. In lands unconquered, on plains unseen, the creature reveals itself. Seeing it changes one's very soul. All preconceptions, all confidence, swallowed by this galloping thunderclap. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We are getting towards the end of Season 1 of Monster Hunter Ecology, so please let me know if you're enjoying this and if you'd be interested in seeing another season. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing the video, and also if you really enjoyed it, consider pledging to Patreon. You get early access to all the videos. Speaking of, a very special thank you to all of our patrons, including Zion H.V. Augenson, Corv621, AJ Rivera, Alistair, Jacob Bennett, Soruka, Gengreatest, Sir Newt Newt, Orbital, Terrador, Emperor Evie, Rambling Robin, Lizric, Hashi, Black Ace 202, Dissy, Hubble Mirror 123, Magenta, Danilo Villavicencio, Arcturian 711, Russell, Person 212, Claire Miboon, Oakwood Tree, Mr. Pyramid, Pirifuego, Makot 02, Project Iceman, Peroskoko, Geo, Jamie Tate, Nils Schlatter, Fiction Ape, Iron Camel, and Nah, I'm going to bed. Take care everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.